Hey, this is Maginoni, and here's my comic pull list and review at the same time. This was a rather short week, small week, I should say. There's a bunch of annuals, which I just, you don't buy annuals. Except for the one annual that I would have bought, then, and it apparently wasn't there. But I will also say this is probably, even though this is a small week, this is probably one of the worst weeks I've seen in a long time. But let's take a look. First up is from Valiant, Savage. Now, in a nutshell, it's Turok, because it's the story of a family that gets shipwrecked on an island, and when you go to the present, you see like a teenager type kid, and he's basically taking out a dinosaur. So that's what I'm saying, is it's kind of like basically Turok, and you don't get a lot of the present. It's pretty much the bulk of this issue is what's going on in the past, like how they got there. Overall, the story was good. The art was decent. And, I can tell that this is going to be a pretty violent comic. So, if that's what you're looking for, like man versus dinosaur, Savage is definitely where you want to go. Valiant as a whole does a pretty decent job with their books. And the one thing I will say is, even though this book is, let's see, how much is this thing? $3.99. You get a nice cover, very good quality paper, lots of pages. And, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because we're going to be talking about something a little bit later. Overall, recommend it. Okay, Suicide Squad from DC, number 7. Now, this is still basically the base that Suicide Squad is in is completely out of control. Everybody's flipped their lid. If you were insane, you're now normal. If you're good, you're evil type thing. And they're all battling each other out. And while they're battling each other out, Zod is getting closer to becoming free. And the only two people that can pretty much stop it is Amanda Connor and the now sane Harley Quinn, who's got to make a decision. I can just leave and become, I'm normal again, or I can revert back to insane and save the world. So that's technically that would be an interesting dilemma, but we already know what the answer is going to be to that. Now, overall, the story is decent. This also does explain how they're going to bring Boomerang back from the dead in this issue here, and there's a panel which shall not be named. But I guarantee you, anybody that's read this book will know the panel just by me saying the panel that shall not be named traumatized me. Completely traumatized me. But anyways, overall it's a decent book. Not complaining too much. It's definitely gotten better since the beginning. Now we move on to Ghost Rider number 1. Now this book here is $4.99. A lot of pages. Flimsy cover. I'm like, Marvel versus, Savage. This is by far a superior value, compared to the Ghost Rider book. It's just a shame that Marvel plays these little games like this that you don't even notice the price sometimes. Now, here's the deal with this. I fully understand people are objecting to Robbie as the Ghost Rider. I understand people are objecting to the fact that he's not on a motorcycle. I get that. Part of me is like, I kind of like the concept for the car just to see where they're going to go with this. And, eventually something will happen where Johnny Blaze or somebody will come back and it's going to be a headline, Ghost Rider back on his bike type thing. So, all you guys can just throw down your pitchforks for right now. What you do deserve to complain about, though, is this comic is not what I would consider a good first issue. If anything, this is the type of issue that just makes you not want to read anything associated with this book ever again. And by that I mean, it takes a long time to see Ghost Rider. We do get the story between Robbie and his brother, which is fine. I guess you can say that catches people up who ignored everything before Secret Wars, during Secret Wars, and they don't watch S.H.I.E.L.D. So, those people are caught up, so to speak. But then we get this story that's, oh wow, we get Amadeus Cho as, the amazing, awesome Hulk. And he's fighting this creature thing. And at the end, you get another surprise guest star. And I'm just like going, okay, while I understand they're going to connect all of this together, my point is, this should have been developing Ghost Rider. For more so for the people who haven't read it. And not necessarily the relationship between Robbie and his brother, but show Ghost Rider. This is why people buy the book. They're not buying it for brotherly friendship. They're buying it because it's the spirit of vengeance in a car with fire. And he's burning and killing people. Know who your audience is. Please. And, to me, what this really looks like is an attempt to prop up the replacement heroes of, the key Marvel heroes. To show that, hey, these characters are here to stay. They're, we fully support these characters. And at the same time, they're hoping that, Amadeus Cho Hulk fan will buy Ghost Rider. Or somebody picks up Ghost Rider and goes, hey, I really like fake Hulk and I want to read that. So let's be honest, that's what their true intention is. And it's just sad because the art is at times really pretty crappy. And by this I mean it is, when you're looking to impress a reader for the first time, I wouldn't have used some of this art. Second, while you had a moment where Ghost Rider could have just unleashed hell, you held it back because the brother's there, and then we have to wait. The villain at the very end that we get to see, oh my god, it was just crap. That's all I got to say. It was more, I don't even want to say, it just pains, it really pains me. Because I'll say this, and I think this will cause you never to buy this book. And you'll understand where my pain is coming from. Ghost Rider, in a car, is fighting somebody on a skateboard who is trying to steal the car. Anyways, next up is Miss Marvel number 13. I really like Miss Marvel. I think Miss Marvel is a fantastic book. This issue is bullshit. And it's part of this bullshittiness is it's how late is this book? And I'm sure somebody's looking on a schedule going, hey, what are you talking about? It's not late. It's late because this is a book that's basically an election book. It's to, hey guys, get out and vote and make a difference in the world. And, there's a mayor who is unpopular. And then there is a guy who's like a Hydra agent who's trying to become the mayor of the town, and he's doing some shady things with rezoning. So this way, people, he can get votes by the rezoning because the electoral college type thing, and not necessarily the electrical college, not because of the college, but it's because of how people vote. Like, it's basically certain votes are going to weigh higher than others, because of the way it's all zoned. And then there's the woman in the wheelchair who is the long shot that, third party and nobody really knows about. And, we can't have the Hydra agent, so basically Miss Marvel in costume is running around waving the flag, not lying, let me see here, waving the flag, gathering people to vote. And she goes door to door to get people to vote, and we hear every excuse in the book. I don't know if I'm registered, I don't know, I can't get off work to vote, I don't like any of the candidates. I'm protesting. And it's basically, and even they even go so far as to go, well, this is how you can tell how you're registered to vote. I think this book might have had a little bit more relevance if it came out months before the election, because the part about not being eligible to vote, you got to make sure you've submitted your your registration form. So that's technically when this book should have been coming out back then, to get people motivated to, oh yeah, I need to do this, and now it just seems like, with the way the election went, I don't care which side of the fence you're on, you just have to admit people are behaving really poorly, and you can see this on both sides of the fence. People are behaving poorly, and to me, this is just like at its time now where it's just like, it's like it's like you're reopening the wound, so to speak. And technically, why is a superhero running around town gathering votes? Technically, you know what I mean? It's like Captain America would just say, go out and vote, type thing. But she's kind of gearing, while she is saying go get out and vote, it's the fact that, like the third party candidate won. That the only reason why the third party candidate won is because of what Miss Marvel did. If she didn't do that, then the Hydra agent guy would have probably won. So it's kind of like she really influenced the election, type thing. And I don't know. I was just reading this book, and I was just hating every panel. It was just, to me, it just came off as preachy, and I just couldn't take it any longer. I finished it, but I was just glad it was over, because it was just, I found it like, basically like your mom talking to you, not really even talking to you, but basically telling you, clean your room, do this, do that, basically just in your face doing that nonsense that drives you insane, where she just needs to chill a bit and you'll get done. And that's why I just can't. This book. Ruined my week. Anyways, if you have any comments or questions, let me know. Like, share. Sorry this video took too long, considering how many books there were. But, anyways, let me know what you guys were looking forward to reading the most. And until next year. Not next year, but next time.